Rolls in. Are you looking maybe to spruce up your home a little bit?
Now, we know that it's a tough time for the housing industry, but it doesn't mean that you can't change up your house, make it look brand new.
What are some of the big do's and don'ts when it comes to looking to hiring that contractor? That's always a problem.
Always a problem, a huge question. It's all about doing the legwork beforehand to get your dream home in the end. Mina Fees, the president of Synergy Design and Construction, is here to teach us the ins and outs of hiring a contractor. Let's call it Hiring a Contractor 101. How about that? And I think I mentioned the big one. You have to ask a lot of questions, and you have to listen.
Yes. You want to actually start with interviewing your friends and family, people that have done remodeling projects in the past, and ask them, what did they like best about their contractor? What do they think could have gone a little bit more, could have gone differently? So kind of learn from their experiences and build upon that.
Right.
What are some of the red flags that pop up that should really, warn you should be on the lookout for? This is probably not the person I should go with.
Yeah, really you can get a good read on people, just how you feel connected with them, and sort of open communication right from the start. But also design. If they're already talking about price before you've gotten to, what level of finish you're looking for, what do you want that end result to be? If they're already quoting numbers and everything, they're a little bit ahead of the game. You want to make sure that planning stage is foremost in their minds.
And I imagine communicating properly is key.
Yes. Absolutely. You want to phone calls, emails. We even have an extranet site where clients can log on and look at how their project is going on, as well as the contractors.
But also communicating your vision. I know my sister and her husband right now, they live in Northwest, and they're looking at redoing their kitchen. And my sister says the biggest problem she's had is that the contractors keep coming back with huge differences in what it's going to cost. One will say it's 40, one will say it's 120. And I hope she's not listening right now, but I think part of that is that she needs to communicate better what she's looking for.
Yes, that and getting specifics. When people are coming back, we've had that. We've had a client say they had a master bath and they got a quote for 40 and they got a quote for 85, and they swear they said the same thing to each contractor. So you want to find out what level of tile, what's the price for square footage of tile that they put in, what allowance for light fixtures. Those little things can really add up, and that's what needs to be communicated from the beginning.
And a lot of people try to be their own contractor and then hire their own subs.
Right.
Is that a good idea, or do you really need to have experience before you try to do that?
Yeah, I highly recommend going with a general contractor when you're talking about more than one trade. So if you're going to have plumbing and electrical and some tiling work, don't become your own project manager. That's where it can really take a lot longer and end up costing you a lot more in the end.
Yeah, they're counting up, I can save 20% if I just do this myself and eliminate the general contractor fee there.
And you end up ultimately paying the price in that you have to do a lot of changes, things don't come in on time, so your timeline ends up being a lot longer than you had anticipated in the beginning as well.
And I'm sure that a lot of contractors right now are struggling, just like we all are. Now, does that mean that there are deals to be had, or does that mean that they are asking for almost more because they're struggling as well?
No, there definitely is a sense of competition. People know that they need to sharpen the pencil and make sure that they're giving the best price for you as well. You also want to be careful to make sure that they are financially sound and that you do have a contractor that's not struggling too much and kind of on the edge there. So you want to ask them how are their line of credits, how are they financially behind the scenes as well.
And I know Better Business Bureau is a great place to look online. Is there another good database?
Yeah, there's the National Association of the Remodeling Industry called NARI, as well as the National Association of Home Builders. And you can also go to Virginia, Maryland, and D.C. all have places that you can look to make sure there are no complaints either open or passed on each contractor.
So once we've kind of asked all our friends and relatives, who do you suggest, have you had any good experience with people? Then it's the referral time. How many write-ups, estimates from how many different companies do we need to look at, and should we always pick the cheapest one?
No, we recommend 3 to answer your first question, a minimum of 3. You don't want to get too much. I mean, you've got family and friends and your life to focus on as well. So you want to start with 3. And I'm sorry, I forgot the last part.
And then
of the
the cheapest one, or do you pick the one in the middle, or how do you do that?
Yeah, you just, again, the more specific you can get as far as price points for your carpet, your tile, that type of stuff, you're doing an apples-to-apples comparison. It's not always about the price. How many projects along the same type that you're doing have they done before? How long have they been in business? What's their warranty? Somebody might have a 1-year, somebody might have a 5-year. So you want to take all those things into consideration.
And how fast are they going to get it done? Because in a lot of cases, you only have a limited time. You need need to get it done
Yes.
in 3 weeks, and it has to be done. You've got
Exactly.
relatives coming in, or who knows what. you know.
Exactly, yeah. And your contractor should, in the contract, by law, it has to say the estimated start and completion date.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
That's interesting because you hear so many horror stories about people whose contractors just continue to drag out the process.
Yeah.
So there are laws to
It needs to be
prevent
in
that?
the contract. It doesn't mean that sometimes that contract isn't stretched, but at least it needs to be identified, and you should ask, there should be a production timeline. If there's a project that's going to go over 2 weeks, you should be able to work with your contractor and see when do they plan on bringing each sub. You can look at that. That's something they should be doing behind the scenes, so I would ask that of them.
And then as far as the money aspect goes and paying for this big project, should we expect to pay for, say, half of it and then wait until the job's done to our complete satisfaction before we would pay the rest of it? Or how does that go? I mean, we shouldn't really give all of our money before the job's done, should we?
No, not at all. There's actually, you can't ask, a contractor cannot ask you for more than 50%, and it varies state by state, but you should expect to pay 30 to 50% prior to the start of the project, and then there'll be schedules. So it might be once drywall is complete before moving on to, and it also depends. If you're doing a kitchen, they might ask for that full 50% because they want to go ahead and order the cabinetry and the high ticket items.
Now, with the risk of sounding like a commercial, your company does sound like it takes a lot of the pressure off. What exactly do you do at Synergy Design and Construction?
Thank you for asking.
And she didn't ask me to ask, but it's interesting.
Yeah, we take it to a different level. We kind of take everything we've been talking about off of the shoulders of the homeowner in the means that we do the design all the way down to all the levels of finish, the lighting fixtures, plumbing fixtures, and then we take that design and we bid it out to several contractors for the homeowner and then bring those prices and help them understand the differences and make the best choice for them and their family.
All right, sounds like a place to start. Mina Fees, the president of Synergy Design and Construction Company. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
We learned a lot
sister
today.
call
Okay, great.
You got some business out of this.
Thanks, Mina.
Thank you.